I'm going to spoil your Year 12 novel, We Have Always Lived in the Castle. So if you don't like that, scroll away. But if you haven't read the book yet and a summary would help before you read the book, this is for you. So, it is about a family called the Blackwoods, and before the novel starts, it is very important to know that the youngest daughter, Mary Catherine, or Mary Cat as she is known affectionately, in a fit of anger, poisons the entire family with arsenic. She mixes arsenic with sugar, and then when the family has the sugar with their blackberries for dessert after dinner, they all die. Except for Uncle Julian, who is like severely disabled by the arsenic and recovery from it, and her sister Constance, who doesn't usually take sugar with her blackberries. So there's only three people who survived the event. So Mary Cat, Constance, and Uncle Julian. As a result of that murder, Constance, the innocent sister, is hauled to court, tried, found not guilty of the murders, and 6 years later, that's when the novel starts. When the novel starts, Constance is now a recluse. She doesn't leave the house. She doesn't really want to see anybody. She's very traumatized by the whole event of being, hauled to court and tried and all that kind of, all of the public humiliation of that. So she's very traumatized by that. She doesn't leave the house. The only one who leaves the house is Mary Cat, who goes into the town once a week for groceries, and that's basically it. The entire town really hates them. They think they're murderers. They think they're really weird. They think they're, maybe somewhat evil, and just not good vibes all around. And so Mary Cat, Constance, and Julian live in the estate, in the house, and Mary Cat practices what is called sympathetic magic. Not in the book, but just generally known as sympathetic magic. What that means is that she will use physical objects from the house and she will like bury it, or she will nail it to the tree, or she'll like do things to physical objects in order to sort of cast spells. Most of the time, she is casting spells to protect the house, to protect the boundaries of the house, to prevent people from intruding, from people coming into the property. It's really to protect them as a family. One day, their cousin Charles breaks through these spells, and comes into the house. He visits and he's trying to get Constance out in society a little bit more. But more importantly, he wants their money. There's quite a bit of money in the house in both cash and objects. So the Blackwoods were relatively wealthy. They had like things that were of worth, of monetary worth, like gold chains and watches and things like that, which the girls, I must know, do not care about. All they care about is that there's food that they can grow and enough money to buy the things that they cannot grow from the village, like eggs and things like that. That's all they care about. But Charles is much more capitalist in his values, and he wants the money that is in the house, literally in the house, and things that he can sell out of the house for money. So, of course, Mary Cat and Cousin Charles do not get along. They're very antagonistic. Mary Cat tries many times to try and get him out of the house, to banish him using her magic. And one day, out of frustration, she gets very upset and she pushes his pipe, a smoking pipe, into a waste paper basket and like burns the entire place down. So the place is burning down. Uncle Julian dies. The villagers come initially to sort of half-heartedly try and put out the fire, and then when it becomes really clear that the entire thing is going down, the whole village ransacks the place. Like they break windows, they just help the destruction of the house. Mary Cat and Constance escape from the burning house and the crazy villagers in the bush. They spend the night there, and then in the morning they go back to the house and it's completely ruined. There's like a few walls, there's maybe the cellar that's still intact, there's no roof. It's all very much desolate. And the villagers feel a little bit guilty after that and sort of realizes that the girls are still alive. They try and make amends by sort of like making food offerings. They leave food at the doorstep. But the two girls are very much holed in there and they don't ever come out ever again. And they are quite, I would say, satisfied at the end of the novel for being left alone. And that's about it. That's all that happens in the novel. Of course, there's a lot more. I've left a lot out in this very condensed summary of the novel. But if you would like one to one support, contact us, and our team of tutors would love to support you on your Year 12 English or EAL journey.